A Course in Miracles. Lesson 159. I give the miracles I have received. No one can give what he has not received. To give a thing requires first you have it in your own possession. Here the laws of heaven and the world agree. But here they also separate. The world believes that to possess a thing, it must be kept. Salvation teaches otherwise. To give is how to recognize you have received. It is the proof that what you have is yours. I can't give what I still believe I don't have. That's like trying to pour water from an empty cup. If I don't believe I've received healing, peace, or love, how am I going to offer it? The world teaches that I need to protect what's mine, to store it up, to lock it away to be sure I really have it. It says that if I share too much, I'll end up with nothing. But salvation doesn't work that way. Salvation is like light. If I light your candle with mine, I don't lose anything. In fact, the room gets brighter. To give is not to lose. It's how I remember that I was never lacking in the first place. Giving proves to me that I have it. Not because I kept it, but because I saw it go out from me and still remain. That's how I know it was mine. You understand that you are healed when you give healing. You accept forgiveness as accomplished in yourself when you forgive. You recognize your brother as yourself, and thus do you perceive that you are whole. There is no miracle you cannot give, for all are given you. Receive them now by opening the storehouse of your mind where they are laid, and giving them away. I don't really know I'm healed until I offer healing. That's like realizing I know the way home when I can give someone directions. If I say I'm forgiven but still can't forgive you, then I don't believe it yet. But the moment I let someone else off the hook, I feel the hook leave me too. That's when I know, deeply, that forgiveness happened in me. It's not just something I think. It's something I experience because I gave it. When I look at you and I stop seeing an enemy, a stranger, or someone to blame, and instead I see a piece of myself, then something clicks. That recognition heals the separation. It's like a mirror. I thought I was looking at someone else, but I was only looking at me. There's no miracle I can't give, because all of them are already given to me. It's like standing in a storehouse full of treasure, but the key to accessing it is giving it away. The more I give, the more I realize it's been here all along. Christ's vision is a miracle. It comes from far beyond itself, for it reflects eternal love and the rebirth of love which never dies, but has been kept obscure. Christ's vision pictures heaven, for it sees a world so like to heaven that what God created perfect can be mirrored there. The darkened glass the world presents can show but twisted images in broken parts. The real world pictures heaven's innocence. Christ's vision is not eyesight, it's insight. It's the miracle that lets me see past the smudged glass of this world and catch a glimpse of what never left. It doesn't come from my eyes. It comes from beyond the veil, from the part of my mind that never forgot love. It's like remembering a song I didn't know I knew. The melody starts playing, and suddenly, I'm home. Christ's vision doesn't show me a different world. It shows me the real one, the one that's always been here beneath my judgments. It sees through the fog, through the confusion, through the shame, and finds only light. The world I made is like looking at myself through cracked sunglasses, distorted, fragmented, dim. But Christ's vision is like looking through a clean window at sunrise. Everything glows and nothing's missing. It reflects a world so close to heaven's light that even the shadows remember how to shine. The twisted images of fear can't survive in that light. They dissolve, because only innocence is reflected back. Christ's vision is the way I see again, not with the body's eyes, but with the heart that never stopped knowing the truth. Christ's vision is the miracle in which all miracles are born. It is their source remaining with each miracle you give, and yet remaining yours. It is the bond by which the giver and receiver are united in extension here on earth, as they are one in heaven. Christ beholds no sin in anyone, and in his sight the sinless are as one. Their holiness was given by his Father and himself. Christ's vision is not a person's vision. It's the seeing of the healed mind. It's what happens when I no longer look through the lens of guilt, fear, and separation. That healed perception, that inner clarity, is what gives birth to all miracles. Not one miracle exists apart from it. Because the miracle is not a magic trick. It's a shift in how I see you, a shift in how I see myself. Christ's vision is that shift, where suddenly I remember what's always been true. It's the source of every miracle because it looks past form and sees only truth. And every time I give a miracle, that vision stays with it. It's not used up. It doesn't diminish. It extends. This is how the giver and the receiver are joined, not in body, but in the shared light that the miracle reveals. Christ's vision is like a bridge that connects heaven and earth, reminding me they were never separate. And this part people get twisted. Christ sees no sin, not less sin, not forgivable sin, no sin. Because sin would mean something real happened to break the Son of God. But the Christ knows wholeness was never interrupted. When I look with Christ's vision, I don't just forgive, I remember you were never guilty. And in that vision, the sinless are not just similar, they are one. Their holiness was not earned, it was given. Given by the Father and held by the Christ. And Christ is not a man. Christ is the part of every mind that remembers God. The miracle is how that memory is shared. And Christ's vision is how I know it was always mine. Christ's vision is the bridge between the worlds. And in its power can you safely trust to carry you from this world into one made holy by forgiveness. Things which seem quite solid here are merely shadows there, transparent, faintly seen, at times forgot, and never able to obscure the light that shines beyond them. Holiness has been restored to vision, and the blind can see. Christ's vision is the bridge between the world I made and the truth that was never lost. It's the crossing point between fear and forgiveness, between perception twisted by guilt and the clarity of love. And I can trust it. Not sometimes. Not when I feel spiritual. I can trust it with my whole weight. Because this bridge was not built by effort. It was placed in my mind by grace. This world feels so solid. Cars, bills, arguments, diagnoses, pain. But none of it lasts. Christ's vision shows me that everything I think is solid here is actually just fog with a backlight. Shadows pretending to be real. And even when those shadows scream, they can't cover the light shining from behind them. The miracle isn't that the world disappears, it's that I can see through it. Like a movie on a screen, I stop mistaking the images for reality. And when I look with Christ's vision, something happens to my eyes. Holiness is restored to vision. Not because the world changed, but because I stopped seeing it through the lens of guilt. Now let's talk about the blind. The blind are not just those without physical sight. They are the ones who believe in separation, who look at a brother and see an enemy, who stare at a mirror and see shame. The blind are those who still think the body tells them the truth. But Christ's vision gives sight to the mind, not the eyes. And when that inner sight is restored, the blind can finally see, not with judgment, but with recognition. They see light, not shadow, wholeness, not fragments, forgiveness, not attack. And that's how they remember who they are. This is the Holy Spirit's single gift, the treasure house to which you can appeal with perfect certainty for all the things that can contribute to your happiness. All are laid here already. All can be received but for the asking. Here the door is never locked, and no one is denied his least request or his most urgent need. There is no sickness not already healed, no lack unsatisfied, no need unmet within this golden treasury of Christ. This is the Holy Spirit's one gift, but it contains everything. It's not scattered. It's a single treasure house where every miracle already waits for me. Every healing, every answer, every unspoken prayer I've ever buried in silence. It's all already there, and I can ask for it with certainty because it's not being decided in the moment. It's been given already. This place, the golden treasury of Christ, is not locked. There's no gatekeeper, no ID check, no come back later. When I knock, it opens. When I ask, I receive. His least requests are his most urgent need. That means even the tiny things I'm ashamed to ask for, the whispers I dismiss as too small, those are coming from the same root as the big ones. All desire comes from the same ache, the same forgotten place in me that longs to remember wholeness. Whether I'm asking for peace in a war zone or peace in a traffic jam, I'm still asking to remember the truth. That's why nothing is too small to bring before this altar. Because the need behind the request is not for form, it's for the memory of God. There is no sickness that hasn't already been answered with healing. No sense of lack that hasn't already been filled. No need, no matter how desperate or quiet, that isn't met in this storehouse. Because this is not a place in the world. It's the Christ within me, holding everything I thought I lost, and I can come here empty and leave full every single time. Here does the world remember what was lost when it was made. For here it is repaired, made new again, but in a different light. What was to be the home of sin becomes the center of redemption and the hearth of mercy, where the suffering are healed and welcome. No one will be turned away from this new home, where his salvation waits. No one is stranger to him. No one asks for anything of him except the gift of his acceptance of his welcoming. This is where the world remembers what it tried to forget. Not in fear, but in healing. This treasury of light is where the separation gets undone. What was broken is made whole, not by gluing the pieces back together, but by shining through them. The form doesn't get restored, the meaning does. The place that once seemed to house guilt and sin becomes a holy hearth. A hearth is not just a fire, it's the center of warmth in a home. It's where people gather when they're cold, where hunger meets bread, where stories are shared and burdens are dropped. So when this passage says, the hearth of mercy, it means the very heart of safety. A place where no punishment waits, only mercy. It becomes the home of redemption, the space where wrongness is not condemned, but gently undone. And in this warmth, suffering can no longer hold its shape. It melts. Here, healing is not a process, it is a welcome. Salvation waits here because salvation is the return to truth. It is not a prize. It is the end of hiding. Salvation is the recognition that nothing real was ever lost. And that's why it waits, not to punish, but to remind. No one is turned away from this home because no one is truly outside of it. There are no strangers here because in truth there is only one self. All the roles and costumes fall away in this place. No one comes demanding anything. The only gift that's ever asked is acceptance, not of doctrines, not of behavior, just the quiet, soul-deep yes that welcomes what has always been true. Christ's vision is the holy ground in which the lilies of forgiveness set their roots. This is their home. They can be brought from here back to the world, but they can never grow in its unnourishing and shallow soil. They need the light and warmth and kindly care Christ's charity provides. They need the love with which he looks on them. 6, and they become his messengers who give as they received. Christ's vision is not just light, it is soil. It is the holy ground where forgiveness finds its root. Not the world's forgiveness, the kind that still holds a grudge, that says, I forgive, but I won't forget. This is real forgiveness, the kind that remembers there was never anything to forgive. That kind of innocence can't grow in the world's soil, because the world's soil is shallow. It's dry with judgment, hard with conditions. It lacks the nourishment of love. But in Christ's vision, where everything is seen as whole, untouched and innocent, those lilies bloom. The lilies of forgiveness are not fragile, but they do require the right conditions to take root. They need warmth, not the sun's warmth, but the warmth of mercy. They need the light of clarity, not harsh inspection, but gentle recognition. They need the kindness of Christ's gaze, the look that sees no sin and no separation. That's what Christ's charity means, not giving out of pity, but loving from wholeness. That love is what allows the lilies to grow tall, to open fully, to become something they could never be in the world's soil. And once they bloom, they don't stay hidden. They become messengers, because what they've received, they now extend. They bring back into the world a fragrance the world did not produce. And even though they can't grow here, their scent can still awaken something forgotten. They are the symbols of a different root system, a system planted not in time, but in truth. Take from his storehouse that its treasures may increase. His lilies do not leave their home when they are carried back into the world. Their roots remain. They do not leave their source but carry its beneficence with them, and turn the world into a garden like the one they came from, and to which they go again with added fragrance. Now are they twice blessed. The messages they brought from Christ have been delivered and returned to them, and they return them gladly unto him. Take from the storehouse of Christ, not to empty it, but to multiply its treasures. Every time I give from it, it expands. Because this storehouse doesn't run on scarcity, it runs on extension. Now think of the lilies. They are carried back into the world, but they don't transplant. They don't uproot. Their roots remain planted in heaven's vision. They move, but their source does not change. And because they carry that source within them, they bring something into the world could never produce. They don't adapt to the world's conditions. They transform them. The ground where they are set becomes different, not because the world changed, but because they brought the fragrance of another realm. They turn the world into a garden, not by force, but by presence, by simply being what they are. Now here's the key. They are twice blessed. Why? Because they received a message from Christ, and then they delivered it. And when they gave it, they did not lose it. They returned with more than they had. They carried the message to the world, and when the message was received, its truth was echoed back to them, like singing into a canyon and hearing your voice return, richer, deeper, multiplied. Now they return to the Christ, not empty, but full. And what they give back to him is not just what they received, but what was magnified through giving. So they are twice blessed, once in the receiving and again in the return. Giving did not subtract, it revealed. It completed the circle. Behold the store of miracles set out for you to give. Are you not worth the gift when God appointed it be given you? Judge not God's Son, but follow in the way he has established. Christ has dreamed the dream of a forgiven world. It is his gift, whereby a sweet transition can be made from death to life, from hopelessness to hope. Let us an instant dream with him. His dream awakens us to truth. His vision gives the means for a return to our unlost and everlasting sanctity in God. Behold it. Don't just think about it. Behold the storehouse. This is not a poetic idea. This is real. The miracles are not just for you to receive. They're set out for you to give. That's how you receive them again. Are you not worth this gift? If God appointed this to be given you, then who are you to doubt your worth? Who are you to hold back the giving when he himself gave you everything? Judgment blocks the flow. So don't judge God's Son, not your brother, and not yourself. Follow the path he already laid. It's not yours to make. It's yours to remember. Now here's the mystery revealed. Christ has dreamed the dream of a forgiven world. This doesn't mean Christ fell asleep. It means Christ, the awakened part of the mind, entered the dream to plant a new dream inside it. Not a dream of judgment, not a dream of guilt or fear, but a gentle dream where all is already forgiven and everyone has already come home. That dream is the bridge. It's the sweet transition from death, the illusion of separation, to life, the certainty of union. From the despair of the ego to the peace of remembering you were never alone. From punishment to purpose. From trying to be innocent to realizing you always were. And that's why we're invited to dream with him, just for an instant. To stop trying to awaken by struggle, and let Christ's gentle dream carry us toward the light. Because his dream awakens us to truth. It doesn't delay awakening, it prepares us for it. Like a soft breeze before the dawn. Christ's vision is not just sight, it's the means of return. The world didn't steal your sanctity. You never lost it. You thought you did, but you didn't. And now you're remembering. Your sanctity is unlost and everlasting in God. It was never touched by time, by sin, by sorrow. This is why miracles are yours to give, because you have never been outside the storehouse. You were never cast out. You were never unworthy. You were just asleep at the altar of your own inheritance. And now with Christ you open your eyes, and what you give is what you are.